All right, you made it back. Now, today's going to be all about the double tap. We've gone through and created the brain, right? We've gone through in previous lessons and got you to really understand the difference and the importance between the segmenting and the tagging for all of your leads. We've walked you through how to create your goodwill sequences. Now, what we want to do is make sure that you have the rest of the double tap in place. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that after you create that goodwill sequence, that we can track and measure what their behavior is like so that we can start the double tap process. Now, each one of these quote unquote double taps is going to be based upon the bribe that you use. So a bribe, in other words, right, an ethical bribe is just what are you using to sell your offer, right? Are they the bonuses? Is it scarcity? Is it different value adds? Is it price discounts, right? Is it whatever it is that you're using to sell more of your product or service? That's going to be bribe one. So countdown sequence with deadline that you see right there is the second square. That's where that goes. You're going to again get the swipes for that countdown sequence inside the resource library called the 96-hour cash influx. From there, we're going to be able to then take them to a countdown sequence with a deadline. Okay, this is a real deadline now. And the way that you can do a real deadline is by using a program called Deadline Funnels, right? Or if you have a platform like Kartra, it actually can integrate with it. They actually have deadline tools and real scarcity inside of that platform itself. Either way, you've got to figure out which one you want to use. Either you're going to use Deadline Funnel or some type of, real deadline creator so that after the timer hits 0, it takes them to a redirect of an expired page. Now we're going to go into how all that works in later lessons in this. I want to just walk you through the functionality of everything. So the first thing is, of course, the email to the far left email click sequence about educational video, aka that's your goodwill sequence that you just set up. Okay, and I'm going to go into how to actually create the educational videos with you and give you the templates in the next and upcoming lessons. But for right now, just watch this functionality. We have an email click sequence, which is about 3 or 4 videos, right? 3 or 4 emails, I should say, with the same video coming from different angles. And then we're going to measure, did they track or did they click? And if they did they buy? If they bought from that educational video that you created in your goodwill sequence, we're going to remove them from everything, right? They've done what we wanted them to do. Well, a majority of those people are not. That's just the way it is, right? If we were selling at 50% or more of everybody who came to our page or saw our offer, we'd be gazillionaires right now, right? But that's just not the way it works. We have to deal and battle against so many things: procrastination, other competitors, time, focus, right? So when you think about it, it's good to have this set up so that you can actually reintroduce your same offer multiple times from multiple angles to the same lead who's actually taking action so that you are going to be on top of mind and you'll be relevant when they need you to be. So what we want to do next is after we create that countdown sequence with the deadline, we're going to measure, did they click? And if they clicked, did they purchase? If they purchased, we're going to stop the entire sequence. If they didn't purchase, okay, now we're going to wait a couple days. Okay, we're going to wait, a couple days, 1 or 2 or 3 days, and we're going to then send them to a new click sequence, a new goodwill sequence. So you can imagine you're going to have to create this double tap. You're going to have 2 goodwill sequences. You're going to have 2 sales sequences. One of them is going to have a non-educational video sales letter, and one of them is going to have an educational video sales letter. Now, the how you create those video sales letters, I'm going to go into detail with you in just a few lessons. Okay, I'm actually going to give you the script. I'm going to give you the template so that you could literally plug and play and put in the necessary changes for your business or industry. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed. Don't think I don't know what to do yet because I got your back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through that with you in just a few lessons. After they get that second goodwill sequence, we want to do the exact same thing. The only difference here is that we're going to go ahead and use that click sequence to a video sales letter that is not educational. Okay, so you're going to follow the same methodology that a goodwill sequence would have, except for the video you're giving to them is a straight sales pitch. You're saying, hey, look, here's why you need this. Here's what this is, and here's what this isn't. Here's who this is for, and who's this is not for. And here's how you can get it today. And when you get it today, boom, you're going to go ahead and get these additional offers, right? These additional bonuses. And so when we have them click through on that secondary click sequence, we want to track to see if they clicked. If they clicked, did they buy? If they bought, we remove them. If they did not purchase, we're going to then put them into our second sales sequence. And this countdown sequence does have a deadline, but this time it has no delayed buy button. It's a non-educational video sales without the buy button. So you can see that after this happens, they've been now introduced to your offer 1, 2, 3, 4 times over the course of about, anywhere from a week or so, depending on when they open or how they open. Could be a week to 2, depending on how long you have these spread out for. And then we're going to then measure, did they buy or not? If they did not buy, we're going to move them to a new campaign. Now that new campaign is going to be to start the double tap number 2. Okay, and this is going to allow you now to make sure that once they get done with this campaign, that they're not going to be reintroduced to the second offer until, guess what? The first of next month. Once they get to that point, now you're going to be able to have it really, really trigger off the emotions to say, look, this person's in front of me, constantly delivering value, giving me opportunities to purchase. They got what I need, and they got it when I need it. So it really does help with relevance. It helps with intimacy. It helps with automation. It helps with time management. So much gets accomplished when you have the double tap in line. So now that we understand the structure and the functionality of it, let's go ahead and build it out inside of your follow-up. So the first thing we want to do is look at how we're going to go ahead and start this sequence. Okay, we've already created the brain. Okay, if you remember the brain from the previous lesson, the first thing that happened in the brain is that it triggered double tap number 1. Okay, after they clicked a specific type of goodwill email, it then triggered them into the countdown sequence for bribe number 1. Well, if they didn't purchase right out of the gate from the brain, then what we're going to do is put them into bribe number 1, where we're going to add something additional that was not on the original offer. So we're going to change that up a little bit. So as an example, if I'm selling my my academy for $197 a month, I could use my first bribe, right, as a 7-day trial. Well, the second bribe, if they say no to that, they click my goodwill email, they go to my countdown sequence where I'm selling the 197. Well, if they're not going to purchase the 197, guess what I could do? I can now get them into a bribe number 1 here, where I can give them an educational video sales letter. And then I could, at the end of that, say, you know what? Why not get it for a 7-day trial? Now the bribe is to come in for free. Now what I want to do is come at it from multiple angles. We have now bribe number 1. If they clicked to watch that educational video sales letter, then I'm going to go ahead and move them to the countdown tap 1. So what I've done here is I've gone from educational video sales letter saying, hey, I got something for you. You've shown interest in this before. Instead of you paying $197, why don't you come in for free? Okay, come in for free today for 7 days, no cost to you, da-da-da-da-da. So if they click to watch that video, right, it's an educational video sales letter, then I'm going to go ahead and measure that. I'm going to say, okay, well, if you didn't purchase from that, no worries. I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce this to you with another educational video sales letter, only this time I'm going to have a countdown timer to it. You see the difference here? This one does not have a countdown timer. This one does. Same exact presentation, except for now you're giving them only, let's say, 3 days or 4 days for them to actually make that purchase to receive that offer. Now, if they purchase from this, we're going to tag them as a buyer, and what we're going to do is we're going to end the sequence. Okay? Now, if they don't purchase from there, no worries, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have the bribe, number 1 with the non-educational video sales letter, ready to go. Okay, so think about it. We have our bribe number 1, tap 1, right here. Then we have our countdown sequence, right here. And then we have our non-educational tap number 2, right here. And then we have our tap 3, which is going to be right here. Okay, so you can see we have all of these together in line right here. And it looks pretty simple, right? It's only a couple of boxes that you got to create or that you have to drag and drop, but you're going to be able to get now your offers in front of more people more often, and it's going to come from different ways. You're going to be educating them here and here with no scarcity and then with scarcity. And then you're going to be saying, look, purchase here, no scarcity, purchase here with scarcity. Okay, so you have now 2 different types of video sales letters. You have one specific offer that's being promoted 4 different times throughout different times of the day, throughout different times of the week. And what this is going to allow you to do now is reach them when they're ready for making the purchase. And this is going to be done without you being overwhelming or, over emailing them. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to email so many times and things like that. A lot of times us as business owners, we believe that people are thinking about us. We believe that when somebody gets an email from us that they're going to stop what they're doing and they're just going to go ahead and open it. I mean, why not? You have a product that they would want. But that's just not the way it works. It's never going to work like that. And so what we have to do is prepare ourselves for the inevitable, which is that people are going to lose focus. So when you have this set up, guess what happens now at the end of the sequence? Your end of the sequence trigger is going to be a tag that's applied that says start double tap number 2. Once they get to that point, it's now going to bring them back into the brain. It's going to then check their tags to see if they have been a Academy member or not. And then if they haven't, they're going to get put into double tap number 2. Now, double tap number 2 is the exact format as double tap one. That's why I wanted to show you this right now, because once you get done with this, you could duplicate this and then just rename it double tap two. The only difference now is you're going to change the topic and the educational part of the video sales letters, and you might change up the pitch a little bit, right? Because now they've passed on this, and they passed on it for a reason. So my double tap two, instead of it just being a free trial, I might say, you know what, try it, get a free trial, and now I'm going to go ahead and throw in a free 60-minute free marketing session. I might throw in some products that we have that they could literally have for free when they decide to become a member, right? Products that are outside of the academy. So I could start to really layer on these offers and start to come at it from these different angles, so that when they say no to the 7-day trial here, no matter how I spin it, I now have a backup for month 2 that's saying, don't worry, I got you. I know you said no to the trial, but what happens if I threw in X and Y with this trial? Would that be enough to get you off the seat to go ahead and make a decision today? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for new ways to introduce multiple offers to the leads that you have based on their behavior. And once you have this set up, you're going to see inside of the bribe number 1, inside of here, it looks familiar, right? Looks familiar. It's the exact same thing that we had before for the countdown sequence. Except for this time, this educational video sales letters are going to be about, I don't know, anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes long about usually. And what you're going to want to do is set them up the same way. Look, 30 minutes at 6 o'clock, 30 minutes at 11 o'clock. So this one's at 6 a.m. and then the other one's at 11 a.m. and then 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. Okay, so you're looking at 3 different days. You're looking at multiple ways to provide them with the educational video sales letter, right? We have educational video sales 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, you don't have to create 6 video sales letters. You're going to create 1 video sales letter, but you're going to come at it from 6 different angles. Okay, you're going to rewrite these emails 6 different ways so that when somebody does opt in or see a headline, it's not the same headline, it's not the same email. The offer could be the same and the call to action can be the same, but everything in between those, you want to make brand new so that when somebody's searching their email box or gets a new email, it stands out to them. And you want to start testing different headlines, right? Because we all know that somebody's going to open up because of the headline and someone's going to click because of the copy. So what you want to do is make sure that you have different headlines and different copies so that you could test this at the end of each month. And you could see, okay, well, damn, I got this headline that worked fantastic with the email opens, and then I got this email that worked fantastic with the click-throughs. Well, let me marry those two together and start to build out a super email, right? So this is going to help you with your data. It's going to help you with your future mapping out of how you write your emails and how you communicate with your audience. It's going to give you all the data that you need. So when we look at what happens next is we're going to click to see if they've actually clicked to watch the video sales letter. If they have, we're going to move them in here. Now the countdown email, look at this, same exact thing, right? Same exact countdown. You have everything set up from 6 a.m. and 11 a.m., 6 a.m. and 11 a.m., 6 a.m., 11 a.m., 6 p.m., 11 p.m. Everything here is the exact same as the other countdown sequence. The only difference here, okay, this is why I love being efficient. You can bring and copy or duplicate the original countdown emails that you've already gotten and put them into here. And all you have to do is just change out the links and change out the copy to now match the specific educational VSL that you have right now. Okay? Then what's going to happen is if they say no to that, we're going to put them into bribe, or tap number 2, I should say. Still bribe 1, but it's going to be the second tap of this bribe. And you're going to see here, it's the same exact thing. We're going to wait 30 minutes. Everything here is based on the 6 a.m., 11 a.m. time frame. And then the final days, of course, 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. So you're going to see that when you have all these set up, now we're going to be hitting with the decision diamond to see what did they do? Did they click to purchase? If they didn't, let's go ahead here. If they didn't click to purchase, then we're going to take them to here. What we want to do is measure and track, did they click? We want to measure and track, did they purchase? I want to measure and track if they did not click or did not purchase. All that's done in automation right with this one sequence. Okay, pretty cool stuff. So what I want you to do next is I want you to start creating your bribe or your double tap number 1 so that when we start to go into the educational video sales letter creation, the video sales letter creation, and everything to fill up these emails, you already have it structured out. You already have the architect, you already have it developed so that in your mind, when you get into your campaign, you could literally hop in and say, okay, I've gotten my countdown number 1, right, for my educational video sales letter, or my tap number 1 for my educational video sales letter. What kind of copy do I need for this? Well, I'm going to use my Goodwill email swipe copy, right? I'm going to use my Goodwill email swipe copy to get them to watch this educational video sales letter. And I'm going to use that same structure for all the emails inside of tap number 1. where it says educational video sales letter. Now, what's going to happen next is I get to the countdown. Okay, well now that I have this countdown built out, I'm going to go ahead and take the email swipes from the 96-hour cache influx, and I'm going to use them inside of these countdown emails. I'm going to just recreate different headlines and different ad copy or different email copy, meaning like the first or second paragraph could be a little bit different, coming at it from another emotional trigger point. And I'm going to go into actually sharing this with you in a second. We're going to go into building out your sales sequences. We're going to go into building out your video sales letters. We're going to go into building out your educational sales letters. So don't worry about all this right now. I want you to really understand the functionality of this so that when you do get inside of your backend, your CRM, you're going to be able to just get rocking. You're going to be able to look at everything right now and go, look, man, okay, I got everything built out. I know where everything goes. Let me get to work. Okay, so the same thing here for the non-educational and the same thing for the countdown. Think of it like this. Your countdown email sequences are going to be filled with sales copy. Okay, so you want to take, anytime you have a countdown sequence, take the swipes from the 96-hour cache influx, and you're going to be in a good position to get people to open and to get people to click. Right? Then we got to work on your offers to make sure that those are converting and to make sure that everything else on your upsell sequence, your follow-up, your deliverables, all is on point. That's going to come later in later trainings though. For right now, if you have this set up, you are going to be in a great position, right? Because you got your brain already created. Your brain is going to go ahead and trigger this double tap number 1. And then at the end of this sequence, we're going to go ahead and trigger double tap number 2 based on whether or not they've been tagged as a buyer. Okay? So let's get started. Recreate this exactly the way that I have it up here if you would like. I think this is the best way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger for you so you can see everything in there. Okay, so that's the whole sequence right there. We apply a tag to start bribe number 1. That tag is already created inside of your brain. Okay? That tag is already created inside of your brain. Then it's going to take them to a series of emails that are going to be filled with an educational video sales letter to give them results in advance. At the end of that video sales letter, it's going to have a call to action to buy or join your program. We're going to tag to see if they've clicked to watch. If they did click to watch, we're going to take them to an educational video sales letter again, but this time it's going to have a countdown on it. Now this time, this countdown is going to give them that scarcity feeling. Like, okay, well this offer is going to go away in these many days. And it is. You're going to make it real scarcity. If they don't click to watch that, then we're going to go ahead and set up a non-educational video sales letter for tap number 2. So you can see we take from educational to educational, educational to non-educational, okay? Then we're going to say, did they click on the educational? We're going to tag that, and we're going to go ahead and end that sequence based on if they have a tag for being a member. If they do not have a tag for being a member, we're going to take them to tap number 3, which is a countdown sequence with a actual timer so that they can then see the fact that this is real, okay? This is actually real. Okay, because the people who come up here, they're not going to see this down here. That's why you have to make sure that you have the countdown up here and the countdown here. You can see they're different segments of your list. So we don't want to show the same stuff over and over again, but we do want to create the same stuff and give opportunities to people to watch it based on where they're at in their buyer's journey. And so this is going to be the first thing that you're going to want to have created today to make sure that the next 90 days of your life are taken care of from the offers that you know are going to convert. All right, so let's get started on this right now. Don't move on to the next lesson until you build this out. I promise you, if you have any questions, fill out a live members panel registration form or come out on a live pop-up, share your questions inside the group. This is technical. This is very technical. I don't want to just walk over that and let you believe that you should just get this right out the gate. Okay, this is going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. But the good part about where you're at right now is that we're here for you. It's that now you have the ability to go ahead and reach out to anyone, me, my team, anyone in the group, to get this help so that you can create this as fast as possible. Right? Come out on a live members call and we'll create it together. We'll make sure everything's set up from the tech side to the functionality to the copy. Everything is good to go for you. So now that you have this going, let's get to work and I'll see you on the next video.